The Volvo S60 is one of those cars that's easily and unfairly dismissed by many on the grounds that it's been around a while. The thing is, that's not entirely fair, because Volvo have been quietly and constantly fiddling with their small saloon to keep it current, and it was only a couple of years ago that it had something of a restyle. Those visual tweaks were most successful on the R design models, where you get a chunkier bumper with honeycomb grille that runs into the LED running lights, plus a tasty set of 18-inch alloy wheels. The S60 is equally chunky from the rear, and we think it's one of the most well-resolved designs in its segment, with its high-waisted look that flows neatly into the rear light clusters, a subtle lip spoiler on the boot lid, and a rather tasteful rear diffuser with twin exhaust pipes. The cabin continues Volvo's now perfected use of tasteful materials, complete with part leather sport seats for the R design model, which offer an incredibly wide range of adjustment, plus Volvo's now familiar floating centre stack. Overall, its simplicity is a welcome relief from the endless onslaught of iDrive style controllers, and while the button count might be higher than in the German competition, the advantage is that it's easy to operate most of the car's systems without having to delve into a menu. The instruments are now entirely digital, and they're a model of clarity, with a choice of 3 different styles, performance, eco and elegance, to suit your mood, with new displays sweeping in via a series of tasteful animations. All models have Volvo's Sensus infotainment system, and this gives the ability to play music from a variety of sources and with a new beefier amplifier, plus the option of navigation that includes lifetime map updates. The system also incorporates a bewildering array of customization options and integrates with the car's various electronic systems such as the optional rear and front view cameras. An added neat touch is that the owner's handbook is built into the system, so it's easy to look up how something works if you're not sure. Space for backseat passengers is respectable, although the sloping roofline can eat into headroom for some people, and the S60's modest proportions mean that legroom takes a hit if you're sat behind a tall driver. Now, saloon cars aren't generally known for their practicality, and the S60 isn't much different. Boot space is a little less than some of its competition, largely because of the raised floor underneath which lives the spare wheel, but by releasing the rear seatbacks, you can at least increase the available space to carry longer loads, something not all saloon cars can do. The S60 comes with a healthy range of engines, although the tyre-shredding T5 and T6 petrol models are no longer mentioned in the UK price list, leaving the 150 horsepower T3 as the sole petrol choice. Diesel engines are rapidly becoming a Volvo strong point, and the range starts with a 115 horsepower D2, followed by a 5-cylinder D3 with 136 horsepower. Pick of the bunch is likely to be the new 4-cylinder D4, which knocks out 181 horsepower, yet has emissions of just 99 grams per kilometre, an economy of up to 74.3 mpg. Powering our car though is the 5-cylinder D5, which normally has 215 horsepower, but can be specified with an optional Polestar upgrade like ours to bring that figure to 230. The result is pretty rapid. It sounds good too, its 5-cylinder layout giving it a definite warble. Of course, being front-wheel drive, all that torque can make it feel a little wayward, and the Polestar upgrade makes it easy to spin the wheels even in 3rd gear. Now, while that might sound like a recipe for disaster, and there's certainly plenty of on-boost torque steer, in reality it makes the S60 feel just a little bit naughty, even slightly rebellious, and we quite like that. Luckily, the stiffer R-design chassis does a decent job of keeping it all pointing the right way. In fact, the S60 corners flatter and with more enthusiasm than you might imagine. And although we wouldn't mind a little extra feedback through the wheel, the steering is remarkably precise, making the car easy to place. What Volvo's engineers have done well though is strike a balance between body control and compliance. So while the R-Design models have enough stiffness in their ride to let you know you're in the sporty version, this hasn't arrived at the expense of comfort. Find yourself on a motorway for any length of time and the S60 will make the miles positively fly by. It helps that the Volvo's cabin is an extremely calm place to spend time, with both wind and road noise incredibly well suppressed. So while we'd say a BMW 3 Series is perhaps a more engaging drive, The Volvo isn't far behind in dynamic terms, yet thoroughly beats the German competition for its long-distance ability. Prices for the S60 start at £21,745 for the D2, with something like the new D4R design coming in at just over £30,000. Our D5 Polestar test car is a fairly chunky £42,260, but it does wear nearly 7 grand's worth of options. Our favourite among these are the active headlights, which allow you to keep main beam on permanently, with the system using cameras to detect other road users and shade out a corresponding part of the beam pattern to avoid dazzling them. And during our testing, the system worked flawlessly, even detecting motorbikes and cars waiting to turn out of side roads. Also worth a mention is Volvo's excellent adaptive cruise control, which maintains a set distance between you and the car in front, even applying the brakes if someone pulls in front of you. And what makes the Volvo system clever is that on manual cars it allows you to change gear without disengaging. On automatic cars, the system will follow stop-start traffic without you having to do anything. Of course, safety continues to be a Volvo strong point, and all S60s are fitted with the company's city safety system that can apply the brakes automatically at speeds of up to 31 miles an hour to avoid an accident, and the system remains the only one we haven't experienced a false activation with. All of this adds up to a car that is immensely capable. While some of the German competition might have a slightly more engaging edge to them, the Volvo is much easier to live with. And in the aptly named Rebel Blue of our test car, the D5 Polestar made the S60 not just comfortable, but also a bit of a riot to drive.